Welcome back into Ash Talk, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Jake alongside Hayden, and we are going to give you a little bit of a preview. We're going to review all the happenings that happened in sports so far this week and also preview all the action that's coming up this weekend. But first, as always, what are we smoking today?
Staying in the Gurkha fam. As
What are
we
your
have
Gurkhas,
been.
man?
Man, I bought a whole sampler pack. So we've got
That's
about
true.
10 more Gurkhas to review.
It's Gurkha month.
It's Gurkha month, man. So, hey, what a great opportunity to learn all about the samplers that Gurkha has to offer.
Yep.
I'm smoking the Gurkha Evil. That is what it's called. It's called Evil. I'm hoping to maybe try something a little more heavenly next week. But this is called Gurkha Evil. And it says something on there. However, I can't see because I'm going blind. But, yeah, Gurkha fam, again, just probably another basic even cigar. And I'm excited to kind of get into it a little bit. The draw already is a little difficult, so you might see me working it. But we're going to get through it together, Jake, you and me.
Great.
What you over there puffing on, huh?
I am actually smoking a La Roma de Cuba, which is a from Nicaragua. It's got an Ecuador wrapper, medium full. Came in a sampler pack, just like yours. Get it from Holtz Cigars. Holtz Cigars online too. A lot of great samplers. You can kind of go if whatever your budget is. You go on Holtz Cigars. They'll find something.
Spell that.
Holtz is HOLTS.com.
Got it.
Holtz Cigars.
Shout out to Holtz, man. Thanks for all your options out there for keeping our humidor full. We're grateful for them.
Have you smoked that cigar before?
Never once.
Never once.
No. So far, so good.
Good. I have smoked this one before. It's a very good all-around cigar. We'll give our reviews at the end of the show. Coming up on the show, we are going to do pigskin prognosis. We're going to make our picks against the spread. This week, it's me. We're also going to have our Take It to the Bank. That's where we make a very hot take for the upcoming weekend in sports.
Just wait, friends.
Just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait. And we also are going to be talking about the World Series. Dodgers won the World Series. Just reviewing a little bit what happened last week. I mean, we won't go into major detail, but we both went 0-1 on our Take It to the Bank.
Sure did.
Had Wisconsin beating Penn State. That didn't happen. Nope. I had an outlandish take of the Raiders beating the Chiefs. That didn't happen. But you did go 4-1 against the spread, so that makes us 16-4.
16-4
against the spread. That's 75% on our NFL picks against the spread. That is really, really good. So
make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
Listen to our picks because we're going to make you money.
Yes.
At the end of the day. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. Come on. We don't have the funds to bet, but maybe you at home
out there do.
Absolutely. So you just have to listen to us.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to have those picks against the spread coming up a little bit in our pigskin prognosis. Let's talk about the World Series a little bit. Dodgers go in. They win the World Series. Crazy play.
Crazy.
Last night or a couple nights ago with the Dodgers and the Yankees. If you didn't see it, when the Dodgers closed it out, they won 7-6. I think it was 7-6.
Yeah.
The big play of the game was the Yankees are up 5-0.
Yep.
They're trying to get it to a game 6.
Yep.
And the bases are loaded. Mookie Betts is up to bat, and he hits a little dribbler down the first base line.
Yep.
With the bases loaded, 2 outs.
2 outs.
Anthony Rizzo picks up the ball. Garrett Cole runs from the mound
and waves him off.
And they just have a miscommunication. So the run comes home to score. The bases stay loaded. They could then clear the bases, get back in the game, win the game, and win the World Series.
Yep.
What a absolute crazy play. What are your thoughts, Hayden, on that total gaffe by the Yankees?
Well, number one, they're getting paid too much money to make these type of mental errors or these miscues. I think that was a crucial time to ensure that you get the out.
Who do you blame in that situation?
I fundamentally blame the first baseman.
I disagree.
I think he needed to make the play. He was closer to the bag, but he lollygagged when he got the ball. And Yeah,
I fundamentally disagree.
The first baseman needed to make that out.
No, you can't.
Long run from the mound.
Garrett Cole came off the mound and was clearly beating Mookie Betts to the bag. And then he checked up and pointed at the bag.
Because the first baseman was 5 feet away from the bag.
Yeah, but make the play. You can't stop running like that. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. Running. He was dumb. He should have made the play as a first baseman.
Garrett Cole has to keep running to the bag if you come off the mound and you're cutting off the runner like that.
Yeah, I understand. It was a complete blown opportunity.
I think they were both at fault, but I think more fault puts on Garrett Cole because again, if you're Rizzo coming from first base and the pitcher's coming, you have to slow down to be able to give him the ball. And so you're cutting off the runner to get to the bag, and then you just stop and point. That is unacceptable in my book. Unacceptable. Yes, Rizzo should have probably kept running to the bag. I agree.
He was,
but you can't, as a pitcher, come off the mound to cut off the runner and then stop. If you get beat, that's fine, but you can't get off. You can't just stop and point. That's a total. I'm gonna shift blame. Because I might not make it to first.
No, he stopped because first baseman was 5 feet away from the bag. He's like, why am I going to run over there? He needs to make this play. He just needs to make the play. He had forward momentum, and he just didn't. He was just lackadaisical with the ball. Get to the bag. You're the first baseman.
Yes, Garrett Cole should have got to the bag.
We'll agree to disagree on this take.
But the Dodgers end up, we're both right on that. The Dodgers won, but we said in 6. So
lucky the Yanks didn't get swept. They sucked.
It could have been that play. It could have been a different series. You might have gone 6.
Yep.
Another game in Yankee Stadium could have maybe pushed it to 7. Baseball needed this. They really needed the Dodgers and the Yankees. I was not a huge fan. I felt like there wasn't, other than maybe the Mets going to the ALCS, there wasn't really a lot of drama. Especially in the NL and ALCSs, just because they were short series. World Series was a short series, so it just kind of felt like I think the wild card games in the AL or the NLDS especially and the ALDS with the Tigers and Guardians was good. But as soon as we got to those championship series and the World Series, all of them were short series. It was kind of disappointing. I think it was a kind of I would say, boring October baseball.
For baseball, yeah.
But the viewership says otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, the World Series with LA and New York, they were averaging 14, 15 million viewers.
Yep.
Which is big.
Well, these are America's teams, man.
Yeah.
In baseball. I mean, maybe not, but they're two of the most iconic baseball programs in the game. And so it is cool to see them face off. They've faced off before.
Yep.
So it's just, I thought it was cool just to see those brands meet and play.
And I so wish the series would have gone longer. I think that was kind of
I think that would have helped, in my mind, cap off kind of a weak October.
Yep.
I thought maybe going to a game 7, like, let's make something interesting here, But hey, I'm a Dodgers fan, so I was happy with the outcome. So shout out to all my Dodgers fans. LA for life, man. LA for life. I'm gonna get the tattoo under my eye. I really am, man. That's what I want to do. It's gonna be a big deal.
So Dodgers win the World Series. Looking forward, though, we have
how's your cigar?
Really good.
You're into it. Not bad.
It's not bad.
Okay,
it's not bad. I did a little bit of a V cut, and then this is like more of a pyramid shape.
Yep.
Which the draw is good. And how about yours?
Not bad. Burning pretty nice.
Yeah, you got even
all the way around. So I just did a straight up cut. So not bad so far.
Draw better?
Draw's better. What you didn't see off camera was I took this poker, which we can talk about at another time, and I punctured a hole through my cut and through the bottom. So you're just getting to kind of open up the airflow. So that actually
that's a nice little trick.
So yeah, it's a little trick of the trade. Stick around long enough, you're gonna learn something. I promise.
Shifting gears, going college football.
Yes,
this weekend. What are your thoughts? I mean, the big game this weekend, big noon Saturday. You got Ohio State going to Penn State. What do you think?
I'm excited about this game. I think
everybody's excited about this game.
Yeah, I have a feeling Penn State is due. They haven't won. They haven't beat Ohio State but once in the last 10, 12 years. That was in 2016. Remind me, isn't it in Happy Valley?
Yes.
So it's a noon game. Kind of an interesting time for a game
that benefits the Buckeyes having that be a noon game. Those night games, those whiteouts,
you don't want anything to do
insane.
with them. Yeah. I will say, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to go Penn State. I just think this is a Penn State team that is the most complete Penn State team I've seen in over a decade. They've always been right there, but just a tier underneath the Michigans, the Ohio States in the conference. I feel like this team, both sides of the ball, special teams, everywhere around the ball looks really, really good. Drew Aller's playing this weekend, so that'll be good for the Lions. Ohio State, man, there's just so much drama around the team, around Ryan Day. And
they can't afford to drop this game.
They can't. And if they do, is there going to be a call for Ryan Day? Here's the thing. I'm a diehard Michigan fan. People crap on Ryan Day. I get it. I can't stand the guy.
When they crap
on, has lost like 4 games in his coaching career.
When they crap on him, is that Michigan fans just crapping on Ohio State, or is that actual legitimate, unbiased fans crapping on Ryan Day?
I think it's kind of all the above, because I think your sports commentators are starting to crap on him. Ohio State fans are like, we got to get rid of him. If we can't beat Go Blue this year, and if you lose to Penn State and now you're down 2 losses, now you're facing I'm not even going to make the 12-team playoff this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge, huge issue. And it's unfortunate for a program like Ohio State, one of the most premier colleges and teams ever. Mm-hmm. And this coach, who's extremely successful, is going to get put on a chopping block, because I fundamentally believe Penn State's going to beat Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend. So I don't think it would be fair to start calling for Ryan Day's head. Ohio State can have a 4-loss season. You know what I mean?
But the thing is that what's difficult with Ohio
They
State,
spent $30 million on the roster, too. So that's a lot of the frustration as well. Why aren't you winning? Why aren't you progressing?
But they've been so close over the last 4 or 5 years of winning a national championship, but then they're either always just on the outside looking in, like they were last year, or they run into a Georgia team a couple years ago where they battled.
That was an incredible game.
A couple years ago, but they ended up, coming up short.
Yep.
So now it's like it's expanded to 12 teams, and now if you lose to Penn State, you're again on the outside looking in on an expanded playoff.
Yeah.
That's got to be really frustrating if you're a Buckeye fan. I agree with you. I like Penn State in this game just because they're at home. They're like 2.5-point dogs too. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting, I think.
Which is insane to me, that they're 2.5-point dogs home.
Mm-hmm. And the number 3 ranked team.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody loves Ohio State. Ohio State can lose 8 games this season, and next year are coming out of the rankings number 1. The greatest team that's ever walked on the earth. I can't stand that Ohio State. For them to come to that would piss me off as a Penn State player and a coach, that you're giving them 2.5. Mm-hmm. Are you serious?
Right.
Have you not watched what we've done to teams this year?
Right.
I think it's crazy. People just have it out for Ohio State. They're just the greatest.
Well, they got a lot of firepower on offense.
They do, but their defense is atrocious.
If time management wasn't if the quarterback didn't have such a mental time management issue, they would have beat the number 1 team in the country right now, which is Oregon.
Which I'm not sold out on Oregon anymore
either. You never have.
No, I'm not sold out.
Never been sold on Oregon.
I'm not. They've got to lose. They've got to lose. I'm telling you, they got to. They have to.
It's so much of it is like when teams are this even, and you get the feeling that all these, because I don't think there's just a clear-cut favorite right now. I think a lot of different people have certain favorites, but so much of this is momentum.
Yeah.
When you get that momentum, when you, I would much rather be a team with 1 or 2 losses that won my last 3 games going into the playoff than somebody that's been undefeated and barely beat my last few opponents. So much of it is momentum when the teams are this even. So it'll be interesting. Another game. So you like Penn State. I like Penn State.
Yep.
Big noon Saturday. Should be fun. Gus Johnson. Love Gus
the
Johnson.
all-American girl. The Joel Clatter is unbelievable. I love them.
I love Gus Johnson when he was calling March Madness.
Oh, man.
And he's just, a lot of people are like, think he overreacts and stuff like that. I freaking
That's
love
sports commentating, man.
He is just involved.
Absolutely.
And I love it. Love Gus Johnson.
100%.
Another interesting one that I seen on the schedule, Texas Tech going to Iowa State. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's going to be an interesting game.
Do you think Iowa State can win the rest of, I mean, they can, obviously, because they're undefeated, but do you believe that Iowa State, those Cyclones, can win the rest of their games? And if they don't, if they lose one, do you still put them in the playoff?
I think that they can win the rest of their games. Will they? Man, they haven't yet. So they've been a pretty good program for the last couple of years. Matt Campbell, right? Is it Matt Campbell?
Sure, we'll go with that.
We'll go with them. Coach Campbell is, I think, a phenomenal coach. He's done something with the culture there. And so to watch them battle with Iowa and finally like the rivalries and stuff like that start to kind of come back, I think it's been fun to watch. To be honest, they can go undefeated, but I think they're going to get mollywopped by a large whooping stick in the playoffs. I just don't think that they don't have the dudes to compete against a high-flying Texas, Georgia.
Yeah,
I would say Bama, but maybe they don't even show up. Texas A&M,
Well, that's why the underdogs are fun, because the underdogs are supposed to lose, and most of the time they do.
Right.
But with the 12-team playoff, now that we have that opportunity, it's like you're going to see it every once in a while.
Yep.
It's just like in March Madness. I mean, a 15 doesn't beat a 2 all the time.
Nope.
But when it does happen, it's special.
It's exciting.
And so you are going to see those smaller schools upset a bigger school.
Yep.
However many years ago, 15 years ago with Boise State and Oklahoma.
Yep.
Like, that was one for the record, one for, history.
Classic. Absolutely.
Just a classic.
Yep.
And so we get to see that now with this 12-team playoff. And we've talked before in previous shows just how much we love this new addition to the 12-team playoff. I'm excited to see Iowa State, to see if they can hold. I think if they lose a close game and have one loss, I still think you put them in.
Yeah, you're going to have to put them in. But it's tough because now you got Pitt. And you got Army.
Yeah.
And there's so many teams that have great rankings. So what puts Iowa State with a 1 loss over a Pitt, Army? What makes them better? What makes a 1-loss Iowa State better than a 1-loss Alabama?
You're still going to see those 2-loss SEC and Big Ten schools leapfrog some of those teams that have better records.
Is that fair? See, no matter what we do, you can make a 20.
Well, there's always going to be bickering.
Yeah, it is. I think it's going to be worse.
There's always going to be bickering, but here's the difference. If Iowa State does win all their games, they are going to get their chance. That's the difference. The difference is that before, in a 4-team, Iowa State could win all their games, and they would have put them in the 6th or 7th seed, and they would have gone to like a big bowl.
Right.
That wasn't in the playoff. Now it's like that was my big problem. My big problem wasn't necessarily they get leapfrogged by somebody and get ousted out of the playoff. My problem is that they go undefeated. They have to be put in there. It's why I had a problem with Florida State last year. Was Alabama the better team? Yes. But you went undefeated in 1 year. You
did your job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so at that point, you're just basically looking at analytics and experts and all this other stuff. It's kind of like, yeah, but you didn't get your chance, your shot.
Right.
And like I said, I mean, it's why we play the games. If we were just using analytics and experts to determine the best teams, then they wouldn't even play the freaking games. We would just look at the roster and say, this is the best roster on paper. Here's your national championship.
Right.
You can't do that. And so the games have to matter. And yes, there's going to be some certain team. Like if Ohio State has 2 losses and Iowa State has 1 loss, I think you have to put Ohio State in there. But the difference is if Iowa State wins all their games, they're going.
Yeah.
So they at least have the opportunity to be in.
But they have to win this weekend. And Texas Tech's no joke.
They're 5-3. 5-3.
5-3. They're playing in Texas.
No, they're in Ames.
Okay, they're in Ames. Okay.
Yep.
I would be careful because this could also, it could feel like a little bit of a trap game. So, Iowa's blowing teams out.
No, I think they have like a 70-point differential, something like that. Their defense is actually playing pretty well.
Yep.
And their offense is doing just enough to win games.
Yep.
So I would like to see, I mean, their defense has only allowed like 100 points the entire season. So
right.
The defense is actually really good. Will they be able to limit a high-flying Texas and Georgia? Probably not. But I want to see more from the offense from Iowa State. I want to see them come out against a decent team, a respectable team like Texas Tech is. Texas Tech's lost a lot of close games this year, so they could have been better. I want to see
this Texas Tech quarterback.
Patrick
Mahomes. Sorry. Just making sure. Continue your thought. No, sorry.
No, I just want to see more from the offense from the Cyclones. I mean, I think they're like 13-point favorites, so I would definitely,
which I think is pretty high.
It's very high. I would hammer Texas Tech to win the spread. I think Iowa State's going to win the game, but I think Texas Tech is going to cover. But I want to see more from the offense from Iowa State. I want to see them come out, put up 30, 35 points, let the defense do their thing, get a couple turnovers, limit them to 70. I want to see like a 35-13 type finish.
Okay.
And I think if you see that this week, you're going to see the Cyclones jump up probably 2 or 3 spots because a lot of those teams, they're kind of keeping in that fringe right now.
What happens if Penn State loses? Where do they drop?
And I mean, it depends on what the other teams do, but I mean, if Penn State loses, it depends. If
top 10?
Oh, yeah. Penn State's a top 10 team. I would not put them outside the top 10. Now, if they get blown out, like if Ohio State comes into Happy Valley and
it can happen,
and it's 40-10, okay, then we can have a conversation. I don't see that happening. But if they lose a respectably close game, probably depending on what everybody else does, you're moving them down 3 or 4 spots.
Okay.
But who do you like? You like Iowa State, but Texas Tech to cover? I think we kind of both like that.
Yeah. Iowa State, but Texas Tech will cover for sure.
Who does Michigan got this week? I'm sure it's an easy cream puff game.
Easy game. They're playing probably one of the most overrated teams in the country. Maybe you heard of them, the Oregon Ducks. The only thing that they're pretty much good at is like
you're on the warpath with the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, there's some teams that I don't like in college football, and you'll learn what those are as we continue to podcast and spend time together. No, I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. Fingers crossed. They're coming to Ann Arbor. Michigan's not going to Eugene. Michigan is, I feel, after watching last game, on an uptick. Our quarterback threw for 118 yards?
There you go.
That's big time.
There you go.
Big time. So started to see some receivers.
Better than 117 yards.
That's right, baby. So we are moving on up. I think they've kind of found their quarterback for the rest of the year. I think that there's a little bit of confidence under Davis Warren's belt. I think Michigan and their offensive coordinator, Kirk Campbell, finally called a decent game. I'm not a fan of him. I'd fire him in a heartbeat. But I think last week he called a great game. Rotated Orji in and out, opened up the run game. Orji rushed for like 65 yards. You had Warren in there, just kind of keeping the defense honest, bringing Edwards in to throw the pass for the touchdown. That dude's 4 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone's calling for Edwards to be the new quarterback, which he was a quarterback in high school. But I think what I saw last week actually gives me a little bit of hope coming in this week. With it being in Ann Arbor, 3:30 game, I think Michigan has a chip on their shoulder. I feel like they kind of feel that they have something to prove. You're starting to see it. They're showing their true colors in press conferences and all that. People have, counted us out, and this is our team, and we're gonna bounce back. Colson Loveland, I'm sure, has gotten a talking to after what happened against the Spartans, but I love his grittiness. I love his attitude. I love, he might be a true thug, but man, I love that attitude. Like, no, you want business, you're going to get business. And I hope that they bring that attitude against Oregon this weekend. And so my take it to the bank.
Oh, here we go.
Is Michigan upsets Oregon.
Really?
This week, tomorrow at 3:30.
Wow.
Is that an outlandish yes, I personally think so, but I love the Wolverines, and I hate them just as much. But I'm curious to hear, what are your thoughts when you hear what I say? Obviously I'm a big fan, but am I crazy?
No, I agree with what you're saying. I would still take Oregon to win. But that Michigan State game last week for Michigan was very much a let's reset and get back on track. I wish I would have seen more. I wish they would have just throttled them because Michigan State's slowly rebuilding.
Yep.
I mean, they're not a terrible football team.
They're not.
So I would have loved to see Michigan just come in and throttle them if they were going to get back on track.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, if you're a Sparty fan, that's got to be pretty depressing that finally big brother, little brother rivalry and Big Brother's having a little bit of an off year and you still can't get it done. That's a little bit disheartening if you're a Michigan State fan.
For sure.
I like Oregon to win. I think they'll win. I'm kind of with you where I'm not so much of a believer, but in Oregon, I personally don't think that they're the number one team in the country.
No.
I think they're very good though.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, I think that Michigan State win last week helped them. But again, I just don't see they just are not going to stay. They're not going to have the firepower to stay with Oregon.
If Oregon's going to come out and score 30 points or score every time they get the ball, there's just no chance because Michigan doesn't score like that. But if Michigan's defense can figure out, their secondary can figure out how not to pass interference and how not to get completely cooked on the outside, I think Michigan can slow them down. And if we can keep the ball, I say this all the time, if we can keep the ball out of their hands, I think the game becomes interesting.
Yes.
You make mistakes.
You got to have drives, though.
Offense has to freaking move the ball. You can't get stuck in the 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s. We're not that type of team.
You can't.
We're not Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. 3rd and 30, we know they're going to get a first down. We're just not that team. And so we have to sustain our drives. We've got to run. We've got to run.
But that's the thing is that even if they don't result in points, you can't go out there and go 3 and out.
No.
Back-to-back drives and expect the defense to just hold down that offense.
No way.
It's not going to happen. That's my thing is when it comes to a good offense, it's when things aren't clicking, but you're still moving the ball. Yeah. That's what I look for in an offense. Like, okay, things aren't clicking, things aren't working, but hey, we got a couple first downs, shifted the field position, gave our defense a rest.
Yep.
That is huge.
Yeah.
And it's why, your yards per play and time of possession is so big because they get buried in the stat line, but when your defense is out there, there's only so many chances that your defense is going to have to get off the field,
right? And
you got to capitalize, even if it's moving the ball just to shift the field position,
right? For sure.
So that's what I like to look for, and I just don't think Michigan has that. I'm picking the Ducks. You're taking Michigan, and you're taking it to the bank.
Yep, I am.
Interesting.
Don't let me down, boys. Don't let me down.
Well, it'll be exciting to see.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Any final thoughts on the college realm? You're the college guy.
I wrote a couple of things down. Let me see if I hit them all. No, I think we're good to go to make our way. Oh, there is an interesting game with Indiana and MSU.
Yep. Yeah, let's talk about Indiana a little.
I think we should. I think
8-0 for the first time since Abraham Lincoln was president.
Yeah, man. 1996 was a great term. So we're grateful for him. No, yeah, man. What a great coaching staff. What a great story.
They're putting it on teams.
I mean, they're putting it on teams. Can they play in Ohio State?
I think so. I think when you're 8-0 and you have that big of a point differential and you can put up 50, 55 points on a lesser school and you can still put up 30 or 40 against a better school, I think Indiana's for real, man.
I think college football's all eyes are on them.
Yeah.
I think they've made a lot of fans.
Yep. Now, how do you handle the pressure?
How do you handle the pressure?
How do you?
They ain't been on this stage.
Yeah, they had not been on this stage, but I still think it's a little bit shocking to me. Like Iowa State, who we were just talking about, is the 11th ranked team in the country. They're still the 13th ranked team in the country at 8-0.
Yeah.
But now like you said, all eyes are on you. Now there's pressure. Now there's expectations.
That's right.
For your team.
Yep.
If you're Indiana, you can still afford to lose a game and still get into the playoff, I believe, because you're a Big Ten school.
Yep.
Depends. But I could see them playing in the Big Ten title game for sure.
Yeah, for sure, the Big Ten title game.
Yep.
Yep. But they do play Michigan. I think they play Ohio State this year as well. We can come back and check that one. But
okay.
At the end of the day, they're a team to not overlook. They're a team that, if you're not careful, will gash you. So I'm interested to see MSU. I mean, they showed a lot of great glimpses against Michigan last week. So I don't think that this is just a gimme game.
I really think this is their last hurdle, though, because yes, they have Ohio State and they're in the shoe in a couple weeks. They got to play Michigan next week. I think Indiana's at home next week against Michigan. I think they'll take care of business there. I think this Michigan State game on the road is huge because then you're at home against Michigan. You probably feel good about that one. On the road against Ohio State, that's going to be a little bit tough. And then at home against Purdue. Those three games, Michigan State, Michigan, and Purdue, you can't afford to drop one of those.
And can't.
And two out of three of those are at home.
Yeah.
The one is this Michigan State game. Mm-hmm. So they really, really need this game. They can't afford to slip up. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see. Because like we just said, Michigan State, they're not a bad football. They're a respectable team. They're at home.
Yep.
I would love to see Indiana come in and hang 40 on them. And then everybody's on notice.
Right.
And then you just got to take care of business against Michigan and Purdue, and you're in. I mean, it doesn't matter really what you do against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. It'll be fun to watch them play at Texas.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Because maybe you are who they say you might be.
Yep.
Maybe.
And they're putting on points.
They are. They're not a joke. I'm not looking forward to going there next weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not.
This isn't a fluke or lucky team.
No.
This is just a good team.
They're just a good team. So, yeah. So I'm excited about that one. And then you got the Florida-Georgia game. I mean, I think Georgia's definitely going to probably take care of business, but it's a rivalry game. No love lost.
Tennessee's a funny team, though.
Tennessee. This is Florida-Georgia.
Oh, I'm sorry, Florida-Georgia. I thought you
silly guy.
Florida-Tennessee was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, great game, too, by the way. No, Florida-Georgia, I think that'll be an interesting game. I'll just say this. I think the game will be closer than what we think. And it could also be a trap game for Georgia. So
I don't buy it. Georgia's going to take care of business.
I hope they don't.
That Alabama game was the only that Alabama game was the only mix-up that they had. That's the only mix-up they're going to have, in my opinion.
All right. I'm going to pee my pants if Florida messes around and beats them. And so not take it to the bank. No, I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be cool. It would really mess up the SEC, and it's really going to mess up playoff stuff. Because are you going to put in a Missouri with a 2-loss? Or are you going to put in a Vanderbilt who's played teams down to the wire? Are you going to put in a LSU or a Texas A&M over a Georgia? Good. I don't know, man. Ole Miss, so anyway, fun stuff to talk about. We can talk about that another time. I'm sure we'll talk about it next week, and Jake will remind me why I'm an idiot, and we'll just kind of go on from there. Talk football? Talk some NFL or what?
Let's talk some NFL. Enough of your college stuff.
Enough of the college stuff, man. College stuff sucks.
College,
just kidding.
It's so many teams.
It's
I gotta
way better.
Go so broad, so 30,000-foot view on my college takes. That's your bread and butter. Now let's go to my bread and butter. The National Football League.
The National Football League.
So should we get into our pigskin prognosis?
We should get into the pigskin prognosis. How are you feeling?
Good. I get to pick games. Again, we do 5 games against the spread. Right now, we're 16-4 against the spread, like we said in the beginning of the show.
Just in case you missed that.
75%. I'm going to keep touting that.
That's right.
I'm going to keep touting that because analysts dream and pray they can hit 75% on the spread. We're already there with 20 games under our belt. So
hire us.
Give me another 5.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Pigskin prognosis. Here we go, baby.
You ready?
Here we go. We got 5 we're going to talk about. First one is this. We got Cowboys at Falcons. They got Cowboys +3. What are your thoughts there, Chach?
I'll go Falcons. Falcons to cover. There's something wrong with Dallas. I mean, we've seen it in the Niners game Sunday. There's just Dak got him back into the game and stuff like that. A couple of CeeDee Lamb touchdowns, but that was a lot of garbage time. There's something off with Dallas, and this is where I think the wheels fall off. 3 points is a good spread though, just because Kirk Cousins, he plays so many close games. There's so many one-possession games with Kirk Cousins.
They got a win last week.
They got to win. They're leading their division.
Yep.
I would like to see Kirk take care of this game. I could definitely see this going either way, but I'm going to take the Falcons.
Okay.
-3.
+3?
+3 for the Cowboys, right?
-3.
-3 for the Falcons.
All right. +3, -3. This is why he does the pigskin prognosis. So here we go. Next, we got the Bears at Cardinals. They got Cardinals -1.5. Why do you think that is, Jake?
Well, I mean, you have that Bears Hail Mary game last week. That can galvanize a team, or that can just shatter a team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bears are going to come back and respond and win this game.
Wow.
And so give me the Bears and the 1.5, even though they're on the road. Arizona is a funny place. I've actually been to Arizona, that stadium, a couple times. The visitors usually travel really well, especially from northern states. You have a lot of snowbirds that come down. Mm-hmm. So I think there's going to be a lot of Bears fans. It's not going to be super hostile for Caleb Williams. I think this really gets the Bears motivated to go out and play well, because they did enough to win that Commanders game, and it was just a freak play at the end. But you are what your record is. They're 4-3.
Yep.
I think they rebound here. They rebound. They get the win against the Cardinals.
Okay.
So give me the Bears and the 1.5.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick. All right, here we go. We'll move on down the list here. We got Colts at the Vikings, and they have Vikings -5.5.
I'm really not liking my Vikings right now. That defense looked horrible last Thursday. I mean, granted, the Rams got Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp back. They still have Matthew Stafford. That's something to say about that. But that defense just looks awful. And we lost Christian Darrisaw, our left tackle, for the year. They went out and got Cam Robinson.
Didn't you call it? Didn't you say they're going to lose this? They're going to lose this game.
I always pick them to lose. Just to get my mind right.
Be careful. This is a trap game. They could lose.
I did say that. I did say that against the Rams, because that defense. There's something. It's almost like Jared Goff a few weeks ago figured that defense out, and now that's what teams are using. It's quick passes.
What do you think it is? Why?
I think the offenses are adjusting for Flores' blitz scheme. And if you are a pocket passer that's going to try to get 3 seconds in the pocket to get the ball off, that's a problem. Go balls, screens, stuff like that, maybe a quarterback that can run a little bit, they're going to cause problems for the Vikings. For the Vikings defense.
Come on.
I think it's going to be a close one. I really do. I think the Vikings win, but the Colts will cover. I could see the Vikings getting a last-second field goal here and winning, 23-20.
Okay. So you're not taking the points.
I'm not taking the points. I'm taking the Colts with the points, so that's my pick. The Colts. I am taking the Colts. I still think the Vikings somehow pull this one out at the end. It's a stat came out. Sam Darnold's getting almost 3 seconds in the pocket. That's unheard of. So O'Connell has to get with Sam and figure out
what's going on.
Because me and you have seen it for the last 3 weeks. He's like double clutching.
I know.
He's like waiting for bigger plays.
Right.
Dude,
he's hesitant.
Let the ball go.
It's like all of a sudden he's afraid to throw an interception. He's afraid to make a mistake. I don't know what it is, but he was leading the league. Top 3 quarterback.
He started off with 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and now it's like he forgot how to play football.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Just like it's so frustrating, and O'Connell has got to coach that out of him, and sometimes overcoaching actually
makes it worse.
Yeah,
more of a mental.
And Sam's got to get back to just letting that ball loose, because you can't double clutch and try to wait for a bigger play, because that's what it feels like what's going on with him. And the defense looked atrocious the last 2 weeks. Hopefully they figure it out.
Does Sam Darnold bounce back this week?
I mean, what's bounce back?
Do you think we're going to see a more confident, what we saw in the beginning of the year, successful?
If we don't, there's a major problem. There's a major problem, because now the defense has proven to you over the last 2 weeks that they can't single-handedly win you games anymore. So the Vikings need to figure it out. Yeah. And they lost their left tackle, Christian Darrisaw, like I said, which is a huge loss. Sam's not going to have the time anyway. So if I'm Kevin O'Connell, I'm like, dude, hit your hot route. Hit your, go with your first or second read, dude. Like,
right.
It's not like him to do that after what we've seen for the first 5 or 6 weeks.
Right.
But like I said, it's like he forgot how to play football, and it's like he's waiting for bigger plays to develop.
Yep.
And that's a problem. On the other side of the ball with the Colts, you have Joe Flacco starting now.
Yeah, why is that, Jake? Let's talk about that.
So I want to know your thoughts on this, because Anthony Richardson, I've never personally, I don't know, I mean, you coach football, you've played football. You have a quarterback, if you didn't hear about this, Anthony Richardson literally came off the field. The audience, I was watching that game, a lot of people thought that he was hurt, and it turns out he was just tired. So the coaches have now benched him for this next game. Joe Flacco's getting the start, which, another reason why I'm taking the Colts is because that can get a group together real quick, where it's like, okay, our high draft pick literally quit on us because he was tired. Now we have the old veteran that came off the couch. We're going to play super hard for this guy because we don't want to have to go
Joe
back.
Flacco's the greatest second-string quarterback the league has ever seen.
We do not want to go back to this Anthony Richardson because he quit on us. Let's ball out and play our hardest for Joe Flacco. I could see that happening on Sunday. Just be aware that when that happens, you've seen that with Jameis Winston. Deshaun Watson went down, Jameis came in. They beat the Ravens last week. That type of stuff happens when there's a change at quarterback or when there's a big change at head coach or something like that. So just be aware. I think you could see this Colts team really rally around Joe Flacco and play good ball.
Yeah, my dad was at the Cleveland-Baltimore game and said the atmosphere just was electric. I mean, you could feel the love that they had for Jameis. I mean, after what happened the week before, horrible on Cleveland and their fan bases, in my mind, to stand up and cheer when he got hurt. Now, mind you, he hasn't made a lot of great choices in his career. Very hard to like him, but I thought that was pretty crappy of someone to cheer when someone gets hurt like that. However, Jameis, he said the guys were, I mean, there was energy. There was, And so it could be very similar.
Yes.
Yep. Of what we see here. I'm probably not going to be loved for this comment. I can see both sides of the coin. I'm getting paid $30 million a year. I don't know how much he's getting paid.
A lot more than minimum wage.
A lot more, maybe $17, $18 an hour, something like that.
Yeah, close to double digits there.
So, the whole landscape of sports is changing. You're seeing NBA players take a game off each week, or every other game players are sitting, and there's a lot of critics out there. How could you do that? You're getting paid too much money. I probably lean on that a little more than saying, they're trying to take care of their body. They're just trying to make sure that they're going to be able to, their output is going to be at max level. Mm-hmm. I'd be willing to entertain a conversation with somebody who's like, dude, just let it go. He was tired. He needed a break. What good was he going to do when he was exhausted? My side would say, you're getting paid too much money. Figure it out.
Right.
I think it's pretty pathetic that
Here's my problem.
Because
he's not a 400-pound offensive lineman.
Right.
He's probably the most athletic guy on the field.
Maybe even the league.
So to me, it's not, is he tired?
He's the leader.
Is he a quitter?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
that's what you have to ask yourself.
Everyone is going to be asking that question.
And that's why he's getting benched. That's why
too.
Joe Flacco. I would too.
I would be open to having a conversation and hearing a little bit more from him or his doctors or somebody who's a little more inundated in that world and really try to figure out the psyche there.
Everything that I'm reading is he got tired and came off the field.
Yeah, which to me is
just unacceptable. Yeah. It's unacceptable. And
I coach 9-year-olds.
I've never played quarterback in the NFL. Okay, I've never played quarterback. I will never play quarterback in the NFL. I get that. But this is why we pay what we pay to watch these players
just
play.
In the NFL Sunday ticket.
So many people are like, they're getting paid this many dollars to go catch a ball. Yeah, and there's 70,000 people that are willing to pay to go see that. There's millions at home that are willing to go see that.
Yeah.
That's why when people say, oh, they're just getting paid millions to go catch a ball. Yeah.
They are.
They are, because everybody wants to watch it.
Yep.
And so you've built a product that everybody wants to watch. I've never understood when people say that. I've never understood that. I've never gotten it. I think it's totally wrong because, everybody is paying to see it.
Right.
So when you're paying to see that, you can't have somebody just totally up and quit like that.
Right. And what message
are
you
paid
sending
to do that
to the little ones coming up?
Right.
What message are you sending to the high school guys who are now taking NIL deals, going into college, saying that this kind of behavior is okay?
Yeah.
I'm just going to take care of my body.
Well, when we grew up, Hayden, it was all about winning.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady was the last true I just want to win type.
Doesn't matter, right?
Now everybody else has been in that generation, in that younger generation, has now grown up and now gone to the NFL. Look at some of these interviews, Hayden. Just look at some of them, because notice they never ever talk about winning games. They talk about performing for their team. They talk about staying healthy. They talk about all this. When we were growing up, it was all about, I want to help my team win, not just win a Super Bowl.
Right. That's what it's all about.
Win a championship.
Yep.
And nobody talks about that anymore.
Agreed.
And it's really, it's kind of sad.
The competitive.
And that's why you have players that are just okay to just walk off the field and take plays off. That's why.
Because it don't matter.
No.
And it sucks because there used to be this thing called like competitiveness. Mm-hmm. And dude, what bothers me so much, and there's so many people who would hate me for saying this, I hate the standing around after games, taking pictures with each other,
swapping jerseys,
doing these things. You just got beat you just lost.
Right.
Get the hell back in the locker room and figure out how to get better.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I hate this. I hate the joking around on the field in between the play. I hate it. Mm-hmm. I come to it. Michael Jordan would never do that.
Right.
Ever. The GOAT, LeBron James, he does that, and it ticks me off, but he is the GOAT. But I hate that. Be competitive. If you lose, go to the locker room. Right. You should be ashamed of yourself and figure out how to get better.
I'm totally okay.
I'm not.
I
don't want to hear your opinion.
No,
let's move on.
No, no, real quick, because we still have one more game to pick.
Actually, we have 2.
I'm okay, like in hockey, doing the hockey handshakes and stuff like that at the end of games. There's a difference between being good sportsmanship and to the point where it comes across like this game doesn't matter. For us regular folks, we work 40, 50, 60 hours a week to get to be able to pay to go watch you play. That's what we want, and we want to see our team win.
Yep.
And so if you're not as passionate as we are,
that's a problem.
It really is upsetting. I'm okay with good sportsmanship. I'm okay with
shake the hands and go to the locker room.
And but I mean, it's almost like it's like a
party out there.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a
like. Do you know you just lost?
Yeah.
You know you fumbled a football twice?
But that's the thing. I mean, if Tom Brady loses, like when he lost that Super Bowl against the Eagles, he just left the field and everybody said he was a poor sport.
Yep.
So it's kind of a balance.
Well,
but
shake the hands.
Yeah.
Do the thing, but get out of there. Quit standing around and kissing babies and hanging out and being all
joking.
Like, you just lost, dude.
Yeah.
And the odds are some of it was on you.
Mm-hmm.
Get in the freaking locker room. I don't know. That's my rant. Sure we'll have a lot of conversations with that one. But
anyway, game of the week, last game.
No, we got 2.
Oh, we got 2. Okay.
We got Dolphins at Bills. They got Dolphins at 5.5.
Give
plus
me Bills.
5.5. Yeah.
Bills are going to cover. Bills are going to put up 35. Bills are going to put 30 to 35 points.
Are they back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Love to hear it.
They're
That's
at
my
home
team
too, right?
Yep. That's my team. So go Bills. Josh Allen. Gosh, don't let me.
You know what? I'm going to do my take it to the bank.
Uh-oh.
Take this to the bank.
Uh-oh.
Josh Allen.
Oh, no.
Will run or throw for 4 touchdowns on Sunday.
Run or throw?
He'll score 4 touchdowns on Sunday. 4 tuds for Josh Allen.
4 tutties.
4 tutties against the Dolphins on Sunday. Take it to the bank.
Whew. I like what you're saying.
Run or throw. So, I mean, if he, throws handoff and no handoffs, obviously, but if he runs one in or however many throws, he will have 4 touchdowns.
Personally will be involved in 4 touchdowns.
Yes.
Okay.
4 touchdowns. That's my take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. Okay. And the game of the week, big one. Lions at the Packers. They got Lions minus 2.5. And I am going to interject. Lions is a team that I loathe entirely.
I don't understand.
But I will say this. They are the best team in the NFL. They are, hands down, the best team in the NFL.
Everything that I'm seeing it looks like it's culminating into a Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl. That's what it feels like it's culminating into.
Yep.
I'm going to surprise you here. I'm going to take the Packers. They're at Lambeau.
Yeah, they're at Lambeau.
They're at Lambeau. I think this is a statement game for Green Bay. Might need the points because I think it's going to be super close, but I think Green Bay wins this game.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Green Bay.
Okay.
If I get a backdoor cover, that's cool too.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about this Green Bay team that I really like. They went to the divisional. They went to the divisional round. Jordan Love's starting to get into more of a rhythm. They're at home. This could be a major statement game for Green Bay. And again, I think the Packers and Vikings are very even.
Yeah.
They're a little bit even.
Yeah.
And that whole division is just really good.
I mean, it's the best in the league.
It is. So I'm gonna take Packers at home.
I like it. We would love to hear your comments and your thoughts on these picks as well, just to see if we're even close. And if I were you, I would listen, because what's our record again?
16-4.
16-4. So, you know what I mean? Maybe don't comment and just watch and learn.
But like, you took the Bears last week.
I did.
But you had a backdoor cover. So
I did. So there you have it.
There you go.
There you have it.
Cool.
Well, I think that does it on my end here.
That wraps up Pigskin Prognosis.
Wraps it right up.
So let's do some cigar reviews. Again, if you're just listening, we give it a 1 through 5 on cigar band rating. 1 being very, very low, we wouldn't touch it. 5 being very, very high, we would seek it out and try to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, real quick, before we do our cigar reviews, again, I had somebody reach out to me. I mentioned this last week. We are up to, how many subscribers do we have?
I'll be honest, I haven't even checked.
Okay, I think we have like 30 or 40 subscribers. We still get a couple thousand views every single week on our reels. We're up to almost 100 Instagram followers. Mm-hmm. I had somebody reach out to me. They said if you can get your subscribers to 1,000 and your Instagram followers to 1,000, they'll send us new podcast mics. So please like and subscribe so we can get better podcast mics so we don't sound terrible to you, the audience, and we still want to give you
good quality content.
Good quality content every single week.
That's
so
right.
I just wanted to mention that. Now we can do the cigar reviews. Why don't you start, Hayden?
Cigar reviews. Again, this was the Gurkha, the evil brand within Gurkha. I'm going to give it a garage grade 3.5 bands out of 5.
3.5 out of band.
I'm always going to say half. I think 3 is too little, but 4 is too much. I think it's just a basic cigar, just one you can keep in your humidor. It's nothing special. It's just one that you'd probably want to just sit down with a special occasion. Just, enjoy a cigar, watch a game, hang out, relax. Like, this is perfect for what we're doing right now.
Yep.
Nothing crazy, nothing really sticks out about it, but I enjoy smoking it.
Would you buy it again?
I would.
That's my big question at the end of them is, would you buy it again?
I would. It's a $12 stick, I'm thinking, but I got it in a sampler pack for a little bit more because you're trying various, degrees and levels of the Gurkha cigars. But I probably would. But I would never spend more than like $12-15 on a cigar like this. So if you happen to see one, it's a Gurkha and it has a gold wrapper and it says evil on it, you might like it. I'd give it a shot. Again, I think Gurkha cigars are pretty good. I've really started to take a liking to them. So yeah, I give it a 3.5.
3.5.
3.5 bands, baby. What about you?
Well, I was smoking the La Aroma de Cuba edition special. So it's in the yellow wrapper, or the yellow band. I'm going to give this, and I'll explain why. I'm going to give this 3 out of 5.
Okay.
It says it's a medium full, but smoking it was pretty mild.
Okay.
Pretty mild, not as strong as I wanted. You know me, I like Fuentes. I like a little bit stuff that kind of represents what it says it is.
Yep.
It's a good cigar.
Yeah.
I seek it out. No. Would I smoke it? Yeah, obviously. I mean, I just did, and it's not like it's terrible. I wouldn't put it in the 1 or 2 category.
Yeah.
So I would give it 3 out of 5. It came in a sampler pack, just like yours did. Mm-hmm. I would not seek this out, though.
Okay.
I would not seek it out. It's a little bit higher end stick. I mean, this is like a $15 stick. So I kind of expect a little bit more for my money on $15.
Yeah.
The entire time I was smoking it, I was thinking, man, I really wish I had like a Fuente Hemingway or
Ashton
or an Ashton VSG or Olivia Milano.
Yep.
Or Oliva Milano. Not Olivia. Oliva Milano, whatever.
Milano.
Series V.
Yep.
Series V.
Yeah.
Oliva. I really wish I was kind of, those are just, to me, a step above this, and this is in the same price range. So for that, I would give it 3 out of 5.
Fantastic.
Any final thoughts?
We were going to talk humidors this week, but for time's sake, maybe that's something we can push off till next week. Talk a little bit about humidors and different types and how to get things set up if you're new to cigars or you want to load up a bunch of cigars, what type of humidor to use, how to prep it, how to get it set up. But we'll do that next week for time's sake. And
so I got to do homework on it so I know what I'm talking about.
So he knows what he's talking about. And he didn't bring his humidor today. There's that.
I didn't.
And just admitted, Jake, you're a failure. And we both are.
I think that's pretty obvious from the content that we've been putting out. Although, we are 16-4.
That's right. So make sure you add a note there. We'll put that in the notes, too. Just we're 16-4. And so we're doing pretty well. So at the end of the day, hey, we might know a thing or two.
Yeah. So we'll get into that next week. Until then, we're going to say so long. So get into your humidor today, go light up, and watch some sports.